Hello everyone and welcome to Lost Caverns of Ixalan draft. Very easy first pick here. One of the best cards in the set is this sort of like a rat effect, but it's not even that symmetric because you get to choose a small creature from their side, usually like a 1/1 token if there's one available, and you get to keep your best creature that has no more than power of 2, and you can of course set up so that you don't over expand to your own rat, and the best part about this thing is that this also crafts into a very nice flying creature that asks the question from the opponent whether they want to cast spells or attack. They won't be able to do both. Now that's always going to be the first pick when you see this. Chupacabra Echo is good, and also the its Quinth firstborn of Gizath is good and first pickable, even though it's 2 colors, but it's a quite good card in the quite good archetype. But now easy pick Glyphbridge in here. And well, there's only one white card. I'm not taking acrobatic leap here. I would say it's an easy pick here. I would take the Spyglass Siren. It's an incredibly powerful 1-drop. Yeah, I would say it just is the best card in the pack. It is better than Deadweight or the Final Strike. This is good, of course, on turn 1, but also good on later turn. The map token is quite valuable. So let's just take this one and move on. And very easy continuation here. There's actually two very good cards for my archetype. Charter Cause. Well, my archetype, assuming I will be blue-white, that is Tinker's Toad and Charde Cause, very good ones, both of them. I think the Careening Minecart is also a nice card in a blue-white deck. It's not the best in all the decks, like a black-green I think is less interested in this, red-green probably too, but in blue-white, blue-red, it seems like this is at its best, at least in most of those. Anyway, I'm going to take the Charter Cause here. It is just somewhat easy 2-mana draw 2, and even if you have to discard sometimes, it's maybe not really that big of a deal. Tinker's Toad is a good second option. And then there's also Grasping Shadows, Poison Dart Frog, which are interesting options. Of course, the Join the Dead is here, but I'm taking the Charter Cause and hoping to be blue-white here. I don't see a lot of white though. So it's possible totally that I will abandon this. I'm not going to splash a double caster. There's no way. But what would be the other option then? There is the blue uncommon, the Merfolk Cave Diver, which I don't think it's necessarily that good. It is a good blocker on the ground. If you have other flyers, then this can do some blocking. And of course, this will be able to connect for 3 damage in decks that have map tokens. I already have at least one. So it's maybe not the worst card to pick here, because I will at least hopefully be blue. I won't be taking the white card in here. This is not very good. Twists and Turns. Would I be like a blue-green? Well, actually, the Kuchil is good, by the way, too, but I don't think white is very open. I'll take the Twists and Turns, because this is like a blue-green explore deck thing, and if green would be open, I would be maybe considering that archetype. But it doesn't actually seem like that. I could have just taken the Sunset Militia there too. I think that pack had it, and I just wanted to do this uncommon here, because blue-green is the color combination which has the most support for explore things, and this is a quite decent card for such a deck, I think. Anyway, what's the pick? This is the best card. Now it's possible I won't be blue, but it's also possible I should take the Self-Reflection. I maybe can discard it to this thing. This is the best card by a mile, though. I'm gonna take it. It's still possible I'm suddenly, white-red. I would not expect that to be the case, but it is possible. Well, I don't know. The Cave Worm is good in decks that can, get to the Descent 4 value. It would be like a blue, green, blue, black most likely. But there's also the Deep Goblin Skull Taker. If this is gonna be a black deck, but this could be. I mean, I don't necessarily even. I'm not necessarily a blue deck, but this is the blue is most open. I just don't like the blue stuff in here. I could just take the Vanderglyph too. Okay, I'll take this. Red has been somewhat open. Like as you can see here, is no black, other than the drought. Although this is what minus Guidewing is suddenly here. I'm getting a little bit mixed signals because this is quite a good card. There's also two, white 2-drops, not amazing ones, but I guess playable, especially the artifact. But well, I take the Guidewing. If I can, I will be blue-white, so I can use the unstable Glyphbridge. I could be white-red too, because I do have the Sunbone. Yeah, okay, let's keep all kinds of options open. So there is a white 2-drop, but there's also the inverted iceberg. Mill, draw card for 2 mana, then you can craft it into a 6/6. Don't know. I kind of want to have the Aspirant now because I have 2/1/1 flyers here. It's actually quite good. Now this is not a bad card by any means. Also this is the best card in the pack, but I'm not black-red. I'll take this because of the double flyers. I have a 4 turn 1 possibly. And check on Landmark. Penthesor, this is like a cave thing. I won't be doing that here. How about the Didact Echo? I don't think it's very good. Should I take this thing? Not sure if this is that good either. Basically a 3 mana 1/4. Guess I could take it. I just don't like the Echo. Okay, I'll take these. Let's try to make this into a blue-white artifact deck maybe. Oh, why is Poison Dart Frog here still? I'm really confused. I don't, by the way, like that Waylaying Pirates. Even if you get to tap and stun something, it's too small for a 4-drop. 3/3 is not enough. It should be at least a 3/4, I think. The best card in the pack is the Poison Dart Frog. I'm gonna take that. I have no idea about my colors. Okay, I got the Sunscribe. I'm happy, considering I would be playing the Glyphbridge. This needs to be crafted with an artifact, so I prefer to have some artifacts. So let's take this. It's an easy pick. I will probably be white after all this now. I don't know about my second color. It might not be blue because I actually never picked any other blue cards, even though I got past some of those. Let's take the artifact. I don't like this too much, but I guess it's most likely card out of those options to be played. All of this is very mediocre. Let's just take the colorless card. Alright, so the Cave Worm is here, but if I'm blue-white, I'm not gonna be a Descent deck. I'll take the Archaeologist instead. I got the Drought here too. Well, it's my first black card. That is quite unlikely to be played. Unless I opened like a black bomb rare, but I didn't. Alright, now I do have options here. I mean, good options. And it's gonna be between the Braided Net and the Spring-Loaded Sawblades. Both are very good. And there are some other options too. I might be getting some playable card out of this pack at pick number 9, but this slows down the opponent, and you have to pay 2 mana to craft and then 4 mana to, get some great value. This is just the more straightforward kill spell, and then you can craft it with 4 mana. I actually think the kill spell is maybe what I want to have instead. I try to fly over them maybe, so dealing damage to tapped creatures could be valuable. Now this is no joke though. I think I still take this. And okay, there's a Guidewing which is tempting, I'm not lying. But the Everflowing Well isn't bad. Now, I don't expect to be hitting the Descent 8 that easily. But an artifact that's basically a divination can work, because the fact it's an artifact will be useful for my crafting things. And I can just craft this from the battlefield. I'm not going to wait until Descent 8. Even though the land is nice, target permanent becomes a copy of that permanent spell, and you can target your lands. That's the idea. You play any creature and your land turns into that creature, for instance, for that turn. So it's not useless, but I can easily craft this from the battlefield. I think I'm taking the divination now, and probably will be blue, white, but now there's a very good green 2-drop. But yeah, I don't think the 2 green cards make me play green here, even if I pick this. There's, by the way, a geological appraiser which would befriend this sunburn nicely. But I think I'm with these blue cards, I'm maybe rather going to be, because I could still take these and be white red, or I can follow continue with the blue idea. It could be either of those. The Vandercliff isn't that great though, so I would have like 2 good red cards only. Wrestler. I think I'll just take the wrestler here. I'm gonna be blue-white. Now this is the bad point at which I'm gonna make that decision, and I hope I don't get past like amazing red stuff here. Well, there's some red stuff here. There's also this white-green thing, which is quite a strong card in my opinion, but I'm not sure how good archetype the white-green is. I think this deck could use the pirate hat. There's like 1 pirate I only have here, but I can equip any flyer with this. I guess I could play the sentry too. I have many artifacts. Should I try this? I mean, it can block and then sometimes it can attack. Okay, fine. Actually, I will try this. I haven't really played with it, but I have played against it, and it has been actually quite annoying sometimes to face. Alright, minus Guidewing. I'll take all these these things for sure. And Gem Guard, that's the pick here. Alright. And I will now, of course, cut all the non-blue, non-white cards. What do we have here? Nothing too great, but I suppose I'll take the Acrobatic Leap. It's gonna be better than this because of the, costs only 1 mana. I don't care about the 7-drop land cycler at all. So that's that, and out of air. I don't need this kind of a 4-drop. Maybe I can play like one of these counter spells. I'm not sure if I end up playing it, but it could be like a sideboard option or something like that. Alright, one of the 2-drops will be picked. Guess I like this. This can trade later in the game with something that has a 4 toughness if you pay a little bit of mana. I'm gonna take this. Also, it's an uncommon, so I get fewer opportunities to play with uncommons than commons. So maybe that's some kind of a decision point there. Alright, Song of Stupefaction. I don't like this. I just don't like this. I don't think I'm gonna play that. I can try this. Maybe, I don't know how easily I can get Descent 4, but maybe like a sideboard. It is a good sideboard card against removal heavy decks because, of course, if and also in matchups where creatures trade a lot. So by turn, well, maybe not turn 6, but by the time I have access to 6 mana, maybe Descent 4 is, going to happen. Here I'll take this Reminiscence. I have already 2 card draw spells there, well here, and Chardic Hose, but I think I could like sideboard into even more card draw depending on the matchup. Okay, I got a Pirate Hat. That's also pretty late Sunshot Militia. This is totally a nice card, but I'll take the Pirate Hat. I have even more flyers now. I don't have more pirates really, except I guess that 3/3 for 2 is. Yeah, the sentry is a pirate. Alright. This doesn't matter. I got the Bentisar, but I have no cave, so it's not gonna be played. Okay. Oh, I was happy to see the rare, but it's not the only good one here. And there's actually just 2 options, because even though I would maybe play a second Nautilus in here, I think I would, but the actual decision is between the clay-fired bricks and the land here. Now, this is pretty sweet thing. at 7 mana to craft, and even before the 7 mana you always get the planes from this, and then of course you can use this artifact for your other crafting things. But the good thing about the land is that, well, first of all, I'm not really running out of playables. I have some cuts to make, but this is an entire pack left. This doesn't take a spell slot. This just improves my deck. By replacing a basic land with something that is much better than that. So I'm gonna take that. But the uncommon white card was really good too. I wouldn't mind running a deconstruction hammer here with the 1-drop flyers, because there is only one to play and one to equip. And then the destroy target artifact or enchantment can be very relevant in some matchups. It's totally a reasonable card, but I think the choice is between like the Petrify and the Vanguard. I guess I can take the 2-drop, and this is better than the average 2-drop, so I should maybe take it. Yeah, there's also a very nice black card, very nice green and black card, but they are not for me here. I'll take this over the Petrify. I wouldn't mind having a Petrify, but because I'm a little low on removal, of course, like do I have any at all? But I think the 3-1 is good. Now, this is a tough one also, because I would like to have the Master's Guide mural, but this is just one of the better white commons, and I actually need some, well, I don't need, but I would really appreciate having a 4-drop here, because I don't necessarily play this card draw spell or this counter spell in my main deck at all. This is quite good. How many creatures I have? Only 13, but well, this is a creature too. Oh, it's tough, but I think I'm actually gonna take the 4-drop flyer here, that comes with a friend. How many Chupacabra echoes I am gonna see in this draft? Was there one in pack 1, 2, so would this be like a third one? Okay, it doesn't matter. I'll take the Sunscribe here, I believe. Puzzle Doors. Let's take the creature. What do we have in here? Not really much for my colors. Oh, would this have been like at least a 3 Chupacabra Echo deck if I took all of them? Maybe even 4, because I might have seen one earlier in the draft too. Alright, that's funny. Relics Roar. Well, I mean, it's a sideboard card. I don't expect to play it, but it's the only card for my colors, so let's take it. Now it might be time to... Let's see how many things I want to bounce with this. There's the Ever Following Well, which is really nice to bounce with it. Any other ETP? Okay, there's another one. The Spring-Loaded Saw Blades. That's enough of a reason to play the pub. I was seriously considering the Hidden Cataract too, but I have at least 2 things that synergize with it. I suppose also something else here is synergizing with it, so the pub will be good here. And of course I can just use this to save my creature from a removal. It costs a little bit of tempo because you do have to recast your creature, but it's still worth it. Now this pack has Tinker's Toad and Waterwind Scout. Both are very good, but I think the Scout is slightly better. And here we have another choice to pick, the Aspirant. I actually do think I have enough 2s, and I don't care about this necessarily. I have one of them already. I'll take the rare for gems. Yep, I'm greedy now, because I have so many playables, I don't need that. What was I checking my pirate count? It's 2, so but the artifact count is quite high actually. Yeah, I should definitely play this. I didn't even remember that this cares about artifact and pirates. Yeah, this is an easy 2-drop. I'm going to play this card for sure. And I got the deconstruction hammer. Wouldn't mind having the cave maybe, but it's not maybe that necessary. I actually like them hammered because of the 1-drop flyers I have. Well, there's another one of those if I ever want to play 2 of them post board. And these won't really matter anymore. And one more pack should be coming very soon. Or not. Okay, Stone Tree. Yeah, so out of air, I have one here still. I'm gonna immediately cut it, by the way. Yeah, I won't be playing those in the main deck, and I will be cutting Are there some easy cuts? I guess the acrobatic leap is a cut. This is 18 creatures, so I will cut some of them. Hunter's blowgun goes away. I'm not sure about the landmark. Let's see the creature curve here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 2-drops. A lot of 1-drops. The Cartographer's Companion is so pathetic when compared to the Waterwind Scout, so maybe I will not play that. So the artifact count for now is 12. And pirate count is 2, I think. It's actually 3, yeah. Well, this is a pirate itself, so I was counting how many things this can hit. Not with this current amount of cards in my deck, it's 2 other pirates and 12 artifacts. I can cut some of that stuff, and the only reason I'm not immediately cutting the companion is actually that it's a 3-drop, and I don't have a lot of them. And this is also a little bit of a reactive one, or a little bit of a like a wants to have some synergy with stuff like the well or the saw blades thing. So I'm not always gonna play it on turn 3, but of course if this is like my only play available on turn 3, I will just flash this at the end of their turn, if not earlier. But yeah, I'm not immediately cutting the companion just because I think I want to have the 3-drop in here. And it's not like the map token is useless. I can use it for various things. Council of Echoes from in the main deck. That is a good question. I will, by the way, play the Archaeologist. I have many artifacts I can pick up from the graveyard. They are not necessarily that great, all of them. But it's still nice to have the option. And of course, I can also choose to scry 3, which is useful if I need to dig into some specific kind of an answer. I don't really know how easily I'm gonna descend 4, and I don't want to play 6 mana 4/4 creature, even though it does have flying. It's not very good, for example, defensively. I mean, you tap out your 6 mana, and the opponent plays something for 6 mana, which is probably gonna be bigger than this. So I will maybe not play this in the main deck. Not many cards are needed anymore. I will play 17 lands with all the card draw, and I need to make a decision about the Ancestral Reminiscence too. The Pirate Hat now has some things to target. Guess I'll play that. It's good with the flyers especially, and I have even a couple of, 3 total of pirates, which makes the equipping cheaper, and the looting is not the worst. Now I can actually consider cutting a 2-drop creature, and I think it's going to be, as much as I like the Aspirant with the 3 different 1/1 flyers, I do think the Aspirant not being an artifact, Cat Warrior, I'd rather have the artifacts. I know I have only like a few things that want to be crafted. It's basically this thing and this thing, because I'm seriously considering cutting also the Ixalan landmark. Now, it's not that bad though, because you don't want to really necessarily craft this with artifacts that are on the battlefield, but my deck has many artifact creatures that will just naturally die. And having one of those in the graveyard makes it an easy craft. This is at 1/4 for basically 3 once you have to consider the craft cost as the mana cost of the creature part here. So this is like a, here as like a 3-drop at some point in the game, not necessarily on turn 3. It's not impossible to have this on turn 1, Sunscribe on turn 2, trade with something, and then I craft this on turn 3. It's not impossible, but yeah, it's not that likely. But yeah, darn. 17 creatures, 8 spells. I mean, non-creature spells here. Oh, I'm somehow tempted to keep the draw card. Draw 3 here. It is a lot of mana to tap out for at sorcery speed without affecting the board. That's what I'm a little bit scared about. But I'm looking at my mana curve, and I have only two things at 5, and 3 things at 4. Everything else is gonna be cheaper, not counting some of the craft costs. This has a craft cost of 4, but this already does, you know, you get tempo with the 2 mana spell already. And I also could see tapping out for the card draw spell when I have this in my hand, so I actually want the opponent to, flood the board when they see I have a card draw spell and they want to, punish me for the tempo loss, and then I can use a Wrath effect. That would be sweet. So I'm gonna play this thing in the main deck, but the decision is now to just cut the Aspirant. That's what I'm gonna do regardless. And then about the Sentry, the reason I like it is that I have actually still the 12 artifacts in here, and in addition to that, the Siren and the Waterwind Scout are non-armed artifact spells which still create a map token, so those all also allow this thing to attack. Oh, and this is a third one. This also makes an artifact, so it's like I'm not sure if there's even more than that, but even with those, it's actually 15 cards that allow this thing to attack. It will be quite often that this is able to attack, and of course it will always be able to block. I'm gonna play that. Also, it's something the crew might can find, and I can equip for cheap with this thing, although it's not that great if I don't get to attack with it. So the final question is, am I going to still play with 16 lands, given that I have a lot of card draw, but then again, so many cheap cards in here. And the Charter Course can find me land drops if I need to. So let's see. Because this thing is Cries for 2, so because this was the card I was actually considering cutting. But the Scry 2 basically means I will at least have an increased chance to hit a land drop if I need to. So if I replace this with a land, it's not of course the same thing to have a 1-cost spell that Scries for 2, but it's close enough to me. I also don't have any, those caves. The Restless Anchorage is a useful land, but the remaining lands will be basic lands. So 15 kind of late game blank draws. Yeah, mostly because I have such a low mana curve. I will be playing 16 lands despite having all this card draw, because usually when you have a especially expensive card draw in a deck, you don't want to miss your land drops. But I think I can make an exception with this deck because it has so few. Most of the cards cost 1 or 2, as you can see. Let's actually make a count here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 15 out of my 24 spells that cost 2 mana or 1 mana. So 16 is fine. Let's just add the basics now. Suggest I have more white than blue. Any double casters from white? Early drops from both colors, so I guess because I do have 3 more white cards than blue cards, and no blue double casters but a white double caster, it's easy to cut one island here and call it the main deck. I don't necessarily have a lot of sideboarding, but I could see having like a Council of Echoes, Out of Air, maybe more 2-drops against very aggressive decks, and maybe this Leap against some burn-based removal, and maybe this against some non-burn-based removal. That's it. That's the main deck. Yeah, easy keep. I have no white producing in mana, but also no white cards, and have 1, 2, 3 curve here, and the Sentry can attack with both this and this entering the battlefield. This is actually a fantastic hand, given that it has only one of my colors available. So they have the landmark in here. I didn't even see how this cried, but it's not really that useful information early in the game, because I don't know if they just need to find some land drops, for instance. Alright, of course I'm gonna play this now. It will be able to attack on the next turn and the turn after that. Okay. Alright, I was thinking about playing the Companion, definitely before the Well, but now I got the Hermetic Nautilus. The thing is that I think I'd want to have the flyer here. They are blue-white too, so they might have some flyer blockers here. But this 2-1 isn't doing anything against the Okineka How, unless they do a block there, of course. But let's do this anyway. This is the artifact that allows this sentry to attack. They don't have to know about the minus guide wing, and I am just of course happy about this trade. My 2-drop trade it with the 3-drop. That's the kind of little value you want to have. Little advantage you want to have in games of Magic, of course. They have a companion which is really bad at blocking the Nautilus, so I can pump this after they have not blocked. Unless if this becomes a 3-2, of course, which it did. Alright, and now I know they might have this. These are not very juicy targets, by the way, for this exile effect. This costs at least 3 mana. And do they want to exile my 1 mana flyer with 3 mana? They at least want to draw that. Okay. So now if I attack with this, they can just block. And I don't want to use 2 mana to... this has Vigilance, so it's... Okay, actually... Yeah, I can make this into a 2-5 if I hit a non-land. I don't get to scry in any way, but I will use this treasure on this turn anyway. I was going to put it on a flyer, but it's actually more valuable if this becomes a 2 power creature. So let's do this. Alright, and I definitely keep that one. Now I can attack with everything and then just play my own companion. Yeah. Oh, this is really nice. It is at least nice until they find their own, big flyer that can block my things. But before that happens, it's all fine. Okay, that is, well, not gonna be a flyer anytime soon. Any reason to use? Well, my plays this turn will be that 4-drop here. So I do think I'm actually going to... Yeah. I am going to use this on the Siren. Rather than on the Guide Wing. Mostly because, I mean, they might exile this and then I miss out on the Explorer. But I think they will exile the Guard. Yeah, okay, didn't get the land anyway. I got a land anyway, so it didn't matter because no counter was added. Do they have the -2, -0 creature? No, they just trade, which is nice for me because now my 1/1 token can potentially push through, and this can become a 5 power creature. So this will deal half the remaining life total, half of the remaining life total of damage. Oh, I don't know. I didn't say that, but you know, 5 is half of 10. So this was way too much things that they need to deal with, and of course this removal spell they have, even if they target a tapped creature, which this won't even be because it has vigilance, it would be the Cloud Guard. It's almost all their mana. I have way too many threats in here. So blue-white. But I did not see flyers yet. I assume they do have them. The exiling spell, it costs 3 less when it targets a tapped creature. I can't actually see it here, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't get countered when I untap my creature in response. No, it doesn't say exile target tapped creature. It says exile target creature, and then it just costs 3 less to cast when they target it, and it doesn't matter if I use this in response. The family reunion. Well, I saw only like 1 interactive spell. I don't want to keep 2 mana up. No. But is there anything that's like bad in here? I think I really just like all the stuff I have in here. None of this will be bad. And no card in my sideboard is like particularly good against what I'm seeing here. So I'm just going to ship the same deck. nice hand. 1 drop, 2 drop. And even now 1 way for this thing to attack, but I have only 1 planes here, so I need to pay attention to how do I... I think it will be more worthwhile playing the Vanguard of the Rose on the next turn. So on turn 3 I can play the Sentry and the Guide Wing. Because if I play the Sentry, assuming I don't draw planes here, if I play a Sentry on the next turn, I can't have a turn 3 2 white spells without the planes. So I'm gonna play the Vanguard, even though they have now this thing which is gonna trade, but of course I can just sack the Guide Wing if I want to. Okay, they got a Captivating Cave. And I got another island, so let's do this now. So the point is next turn I will probably pre-combat play the Guide Wing so that they are not... Well, let's see if they're gonna tap out or not. Maybe they just deal with this, use like a Petrify or something. There is the Petrify. They didn't want to trade with the Guide Wing though. That's interesting. Because I wouldn't have blocked with it. There's not even any relevant target for the Explorer. Okay, so now I can do this. And the Deconstruction Hammer means the Sentry is able to attack on the next turn. They have a Gem Guard which they can make into a 4/4, but they will tap both of them, which they did not want to do. Okay, I'm gonna wait with the Hammer because I want to have an attack also on the next turn. And by the way, I can use this to kill the Gem Guard. I don't care about the Petrify, I can use this to deal with that thing as well. If they're gonna block the Shipwreck Sentry with the Gem Guard, that would be nice. So yeah, I'm gonna miss a bit of damage, but I also want to make sure on the next turn I have this as an attacker. This of course is a sorcery speed activation, so they can't make it into a 4/4. This ability would be too insane if it worked that way. Okay, so now again, as long as they don't have flyers, I'm gonna win this race easily. But blue-white should have some flyers. I'm lugging the Shipwreck Sentry a lot. But of course it requires a deck that has like over 10, at least 10, ideally more than 10 ways to produce an artifact. And I have 15 ways in this deck. So it's gonna be very often able to attack. Forgotten Monument. Cave is okay, whatever. So they are not doing anything. So 5 mana up. Well, we'll see what happens. Okay, that's gonna be a good one. So let's do this. And who's gonna get it equipped? I could just kill this thing. Activated abilities can't be activated, and this thing grants it an activated ability. Well, yeah, absolutely not gonna do that thing with the Rose, because Vanguard of the Rose, because it would not work. This thing works at other than sorcery speed. Thing is, if I equip, because I can attack with the Vigilant thing. Well, I guess that makes it worth. I mean, that means I won't be able to play this on this turn. Because I need an untapped land in order to equip and have the ability up. But with the Vigilant Attackers, that is gonna be worth it. I'm gonna equip it on the Guide Wing. So let's see. Now I can attack with everything. And if they double block the gem, the Nautilus, maybe I'll just pump it then. I'm still gonna attack with the Nautilus. It's a little bit difficult here when they have so much mana up and 3 cards in hand. It could be many things. I can't play around everything. I can just force them to use something, because if they have like nothing, the best thing they can maybe do is double block the Nautilus. But even then I can just use... I can choose to trade with the Gnome, or I can just try to... I mean, of course, what I could really do is I could just kill the Gem Guard. But they might have a way to keep it like hexproof, so I'm not gonna do that. They could play that 2-mana spell that gives hexproof to their team. So I have two options. I could let it go, but I would only trade with the Compass Gnome in that case. No, it's not that easy. I'm actually gonna make that trade happen. I will keep my mana up for the I can do it at the end of their turn to kill the gem guard. This is fine. They have the exile tap. Okay. That's nice. Yeah, sure. I could use this right now, but they might play a more impactful artifact, so I'm definitely going to wait. Wait until I see what they do. The landmark isn't gonna do much. This of course means my clock in the air is gonna be... Well, yeah, that's true. I don't have any ground attackers anymore. So I think I might even be better off not using the hammer right now, because I might not... Yeah, I'm gonna have the +1/+1 on the flyer. I don't know why they did. Okay, they did leave this as a blocker because I might still kill the petrify with the thing, which I'm not gonna do. I'll just want to attack for a bunch here. Okay, 2-drop is actually pretty sweet here, because that means I can both play the 2-drop and also still have mana up for the hammer. Okay. Yep, that's not really... That wasn't so great for them. I guess they just hoped. Either they didn't see it or they hoped I don't see it. Alright, this is a good card, but not going to matter now because I can just do this. I even have the mana for charter cost, just, perfect draws here. But this shows also how good this land can be, because it didn't take a spell slot from my deck. Okay, this should be now. They need like a huge amount of life gain or somehow deal with 3 flyers. Okay. Okay, this is I'm on the draw, the opponent mulligans. I'm gonna keep this. It is a 5-lander, but I have a bunch of card draw in the deck, but also the most important thing is that I can have the Saw Blades to kill their whatever early drop and then return the Saw Blades to my hand with the Mischievous Pup to basically have like a 2-for-1. This does mean that I won't be able to kind of clock the opponent in any quick way unless I draw some relevant things, but I think it's worth still. And I do hope they have a 2-drop. Okay, and I hope this becomes a 2-3, yes, because then it's like more worth killing it. Also, 2 lands after keeping a 5-lander. So now I need to have like a... Okay, this is good now. Need to have some spells and ideally multiple spells. They have a treasure map here. They can get their own value from that thing. Is this another blue-white? Yeah, everything is blue-white in this event. It wasn't the best use for the Saw Blades, but of course I did it because I have the Mischievous Pup in here. If I get one of my card draw spells, then the land count here doesn't matter, but I could be a little bit in trouble here. Alright, so... okay, they cannot keep... Okay, there is that. Now, this doesn't scry or anything. Am I supposed to first... No, I'm supposed to first do this. And then on the next turn I can Okay, so I mill 2, draw 2. Okay, I milled 2 non-lands, but I also drew 2 non-lands, so that's nice. And then I guess I can just make this into a... well, maybe it doesn't become a 3-2. It becomes, and it's fine. So, next turn I do have the mana to... at the same time, with 5 mana I can both return this and kill this, assuming this will be tapped. I hope it doesn't get like a 6th counter, but now that they use the treasure map for that purpose, I don't think they can... They could have a Tinker's Toad and make it into a 6-6. But I think even in that case they would rather hit for 5. Okay, so they did not tap it at all. That's not what I planned to do. Alright, well I have to change my tactics a little bit. I guess I'll just play my flyer. They might have a counterspell, but then they have a counterspell. I mean, they have only 2 cards for now. They will soon be drawing more cards with the Treasure Co. and the treasures the thing produces, but there's not much I can do about it. But the point here is that I can try to make this into a 4-power creature and attack into that guy. Or I can just play the Nautilus. Let's do this first. Let's see if they counter it. Because now I can use the the map to try to make this into a 4-power creature. The thing is, it might whiff and then I can't have any other play. So I like this Nautilus instead. Now there's like a chance that they will not be even tapping this guy because they need to have it as a blocker and well, you know what I can also do with the pop? I can return the ever-flowing well. That's what I can do, but they have now their own card draw stuff going on here. They will make this easily into a 5-5 with the treasures, but yeah, this thing won't be tapped after all. Zodiac Cliff, I don't like to see that, but it is what it is. Okay, yes, that's the best thing I could have hoped for. I'm not gonna lose 2 guys here. Yeah, I can't block it so that that I would lose only 1 guy. So I take the 5, of course, but yeah, and they are not gonna give it another counter. Good. There's also this thing. What the? I think it's still worth. I mean, this requires 2 mana. I mean, I could choose the scout from myself, but then they have the Glyph. It's not the greatest rat effect right now. I can wait with it a little bit. I would say it's fine to wait. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm going to use them. Although that's a little bit foolish, I would say. It's better to just draw the cards and let them overextend their... Yeah, let's actually do that. And then I use the rat when they have more board presence, but I'm gonna do this now. Mill 2, draw 2. Okay, that was now... Well, I guess I can live without those. And I got the Restless Anchorage. And I'm not gonna craft this. Well, okay, it's a vehicle actually, so I can even craft it. Okay, they can exile stuff from my graveyard. So what I can do in here is I can put these guys to block this thing. Because I want the cliff to happen, of course. They may be discovered into a creature, and then the more creatures they have on the battlefield, the better for my rat. And this way, unless they have a trick, I don't lose more than 1 creature. I go to 10 myself here, of course. Okay, eaten by piranhas, so this will survive. They still used a card for that. So this says, for each player, choose a creature with power, 1 creature with power 2 or less. I have to choose. So I will have to choose the conservator for them. Okay. I wonder if it's time to make it happen. They have 2 treasures. They can use this, but I mean they can also draw cards with the treasures, so that's not a big deal. I'm going to attack with everything here, I believe. And let's see how they block here. Okay, so they can now use the treasures to make this Discover 4 happen, but the treasures are worth 2 cards. So are they gonna sack them both? They are actually. They're gonna go for tempo. Inverted iceberg. I don't wanna see that. I actually need them to craft this first. Yeah. So let's be smart. Of course I don't want to die here, so I need to in fact need to be careful. Need to be very careful. Sadly I cannot. Yeah, what I can't do here is have blockers for the yeah, I mean this is 1 power and this is 2 power. I can't, block either of these things. I might have to go for the Glyphbridge and just accept the fact that they have this, but I don't like the fact they have the inverted iceberg, which they can make into a 6/6. So I'm gonna maybe I'm going to do it just like this now. Then I'm gonna play these. I'm gonna do this and this. Because now I can kind of threaten blocking here. I'm not sure I want to block. Now, this is a little bit tricky now. It definitely is. I want them to, kind of commit more stuff to the battlefield, and I really wanted this cliff to resolve already, but that did not happen. What I'm planning to do is just jump blocking here. Now I can crew this and kill the gem god, but get to scry, by the way. I can screw with this to scry. That's nice. Okay, let's do that. At least let's do that before I decide how to block. Yeah, I think I'm going to just I'm gonna do like this and this. I don't wanna. They still have. Okay, they had a wrestler, which I maybe expected them to have. It is not so bad because I want them to play their cards. Now, do they still? If they're gonna do the inverted iceberg post combat, that would be the greatest. So who's gonna explore? I don't want to make the Waterwind Scout into a 3/3 because then I can't save it from the effect. So let's actually make the Sunscribe into a 3/3. I mean, if it's a 3, it's not a 3/3, so it doesn't matter. Come on, use the iceberg. I would be so happy if they craft, and it does seem like that's what they're gonna do. So now they will be left with the 1/2 and whatever is coming from the cliff if they get to cast it. Okay, so in the end things went well. I will have at most 3 mana after that, so I can't sadly do the Cloud God, but I could actually scry first. I mean, of course I'm gonna attack here. Because I'm gonna attack with only the Waterwind Scout. Oh, the only thing actually to consider leaving this on the... I mean, they can only get like a 3 mana spell. It's not gonna be that big of a deal. Hopefully these are not my famous last words. Then again, I want to use the map token post-frat. I was really wanting to scry here because that can be valuable here. But I don't want to miss damage. Okay, I don't want to miss damage, so I'm gonna do this. This. And now I see what's gonna happen here. They get a Iron Paw Aspirant. They cast it, and then I can do this. By the way, this is now... I can transform this into the Myriad Pools now. That's sweet. I have 16 cards left in the deck. Deconstruction Hammer is very useful against that color combination. So I could attack for 3 and they attack for 3. They go to 8, I go to 7. I do think it's worth it. And I can craft this into a 5-3. Wait a minute. Treasure map. Oh, they... They have 2 treasure maps. That's true. Alright. But I have flipped the Myriad Pools. So, when you cast a permanent spell using mana produced by the Myriad Pools, up to 1 target permanent you control becomes a copy of that spell until end of turn. Okay, so I can make a Cloud Guard. Or I can make a Deconstruction Hammer too. Now this requires a lot of... First of all, I could attack for 5 in the air. I have this thing available. This is craft with 5. That would leave me with 5. No, this is a win, isn't it? Because I can activate this. I think it's a win. I kind of forgot. I can attack for 8 exactly in the air. Just make sure it is one of these planes becomes a Cloud Guard. This is exactly 8. Yep. This becomes a 3-2 flyer. And this is going to be victory. Exactsies. They can scry with the treasure map, but that's all they can do. Now, better win when you have a 100% victory. Almost started considering some kind of a, you know, I was considering their options such as play the hammer, although this adds blue, so I can't even copy the hammer, because I was thinking about, let's say it was possible. I was thinking about making a planes into a hammer, then equipping it, killing the gem guard, and then I still have the other hammer left and do something like kill the 2-3 or the treasure map or whatever, but that's of course nonsense when you can just win like this. But this is what the Myriad Pools do. You can target any of your permanents, and that's of course most importantly, you can also target your lands. So when you play a creature, you can just have basically a hasty version of that creature with the Myriad Pools. And don't target a land you just played that turn. For example, I think I had... Yeah, this entered the battlefield, so I had to make sure I tapped the one that, you know, wouldn't be able to attack because it doesn't, unless the creature has haste, and this of course does not. Now, another blue-white deck. There's the Zodiac Glyph. This counterspell costs 4 when it targets the glyph, so I think I just have to leave with that. Now they know about the Wrath effect, but I don't think it's gonna change much. I don't have a Petrify of my own. Petrify would be the best way to deal with a Zodiac Glyph. But yes, I don't think I can do anything too useful here, so I'll just ship the same deck. My sideboard options are slightly limited, and I don't think against another blue-white deck there are that great options. Alright, this is a fine hand. Now they have a Spider. Spyglass Siren, aka Spyren, on turn 1. That's a sweet one. Now, to be mana efficient, I should play like a pirate hat. Don't particularly need the landmark right now, but this does nothing. But I guess they have they chose not to. Oh, it's gonna be the cliff, isn't it? Because they chose not to explore. Maybe they don't have a third land. Yeah, they milled that thing. They did have a third land, so that they still choose not to use the treasure token. Interesting. Okay. So here I will play the sentry and the landmark. Next turn I can play the gem guard. Do I need another white? I think I will want to have another white. The sunscribe is not the greatest, but I suppose I can have it. It enables this thing to attack, but it might not be necessary. I kind of want this to attack so I can play the charter course without discarding a card. Now they might consider using the map token on the 2-3 scout here. Also, it's possible they have the... Well, no, I don't know anymore what they're gonna have, but... Alright, so this thing... I know I could... Should I loot here? Because what I can do is I can equip this for 1 mana and play the Sunscribe instead. Loot the island away. I'll do that. They go for a jump block for a very unknown reason. I don't know why would they do that. This is not a pirate, so I can't equip that. They will be able to attack with the 2-3 scout at least. They can also attack with the conservator, and I can, you know, trade. But then they, by paying 4 mana, I would be able to discover 4, and I don't want them to have that. Okay, now this is a very good one, and that's gonna. Okay, they wanna stun this thing down. Given the board they have, I need my Wrath effect. I am not going to win here. Because this thing is really nasty and I actually just didn't have any removal in the deck. Well, there it is. There it is. So they will have a Spy class Siren. Or the Scout. I don't want them to have this. Oh, but I don't actually have the mana yet. So let's scratch that. Scratch that plan. Well... I can't really attack, I need to block, so I hope this... Oh, there's not going to be anything. Gem Guard goes away. I could play the Nautilus. Could use the trap, but... Well, Sawblade, well, I guess it's a trap. Let's play this to have some blockers. Now, I need a land. I have all the lands in the deck because this is already on the battlefield. All of them enter untapped, so either plains or an island. I have, I think, 11 of them left in the deck. That's right. So they can make this into a Serra Angel. Well, I mean better than a Serra Angel by tapping. Well, they need a permanent. They could use the Hidden Cataract to crack it, or maybe they have something in their hand. Okay, they have that. So now they can... Okay, they chose not to use the Warden of the Inner Sky. Okay, so they had no fear. They saw my Wrath effect in game 1 and they are just playing everything here. It's pretty odd, but I'm also pretty happy about it. I do this and I leave the pop up here. Okay, treasure map, they will be getting more cards with that, but let's just draw them a land, shall we? I will get to explore at least, because I'm gonna jump with this guide wing, absolutely. Yep. I could use the saw blades here. I'm gonna actually use it, just to not take so much damage here. I know this is a bit counterintuitive if I get the land, but it's also better to do this in case I don't draw the land, because I might explore into a non-land, mill that, and still, you know, fail to find a land. Like here, I have to mill it. Although that gives me another... Actually, I'm not going to necessarily mill it. I can jump block this and then use the treasure to find the land after that, but maybe it just doesn't actually matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Let's hope to find the land. I can also make this into a 1-4 if I... Okay, okay, that doesn't actually matter. They can discover 4 in the glyph. Oh man, they discovered in the glyph. That's a really good one. And they have an artifact, but they left that in their hand. Okay, well, there's not much for me to do here other than... yeah, I can make this into a 1-4 flyer, so I can leave them the siren. And of course the Nautilus on my side, yep. They have the glyph which they can put on the map token, for instance. And they have an active treasure map, so this is not over. I do have the pub, so I can, you know, relaunch anything here, but I think I'm gonna just use the transform this into a 5-3 flyer. But I'm gonna take 6 now, 1 in the air and 5 from this guy, which is not nice, but it is what it is. I'm going down to 7. So, well, I guess I'm just going to actually, because I did draw the, well, I didn't even need the land. I'm gonna kill this thing. They get to do their, you know, thing. I don't know what did I do with pre-combat. There's no point doing that, but I suppose I'll just, because I can attack with this. I guess the point is that maybe I don't want to attack with it, but it has vigilance, so I will attack with it. Discover 3 now. Okay, they get an high spec. That's a pretty sweet one. I mean, I'm not gonna... I can't whine too much because I got the Glyphbridge, but their discover hits were really good here now. Really good ones. So now I have to deal with the 6-6. And they have a Petrify on my thing. Yeah, I'm unable to have a good race in here, but I guess I have a 5-5 vehicle. I can double block this guy, but I feel like they might have a Petrify. So for what do I have the mana? If I play this, I will have only 4 mana left, which means I can't use the ability here, which I could want to do. Maybe I can make this into a 5/3 flyer. They have to either cast a spell or attack. But then the 6 damage, yeah, I can't even... I think I need this equipment here. I mean the vehicle. I do need the vehicle. I can make this into a 3/6, but it doesn't matter at all. Yeah, the fact they hit on this Titan with the Glyph is just I was hoping to be in a good shape, but they also have like 2 treasure maps in their deck, so they are very favored also. Well, I mean, not necessarily favored in the long game because I also have card draw, but they are not going to run out of gas easily, not with the stuff they have. This will be a very difficult match, and I don't expect necessarily to be... This bounces a non-land permanent even. Alright. Bounce my Glyphbridge, please. Bounce the pop. That would be nice. Okay, so I'm gonna crew now with this thing. And unfortunately I will be losing 2 things in here because... Oh, they still are gonna have a petrify here, are they? Well, I will be able to... No, this says tap or untap target. Yeah, I kind of forgot this has also... It's not a vanilla 6/6. What was I thinking about? Well, anyway, the 4/4 is a problem, which I can trade with using the Glyphbridge. But they can tap whatever here, but whatever is going to remain untapped is going to be double blocking the Titan, and now I hope they don't have the -2, -0, which they probably will, but... Yep. Game over. Alright, it's a very difficult matchup for sure. And I don't think anything here really helps. The Glyph is now yeah, this Zoetic Glyph is just a problem. They got so much tempo. First of all, they discovered into it, and they discovered amazing good target when it went to graveyard. This can target the opponent's stuff too, but I don't think that's gonna be that relevant that often. I can turn the 6/6 into a small thing. Council of Echoes out of air. I'm not convinced the out of air is really going to be a good one here. Nope, I'm convinced I need to just have a good fast start, and maybe they must not have that. So I've read the board there, but they had still... I mean, they didn't run out of gas at all. Yeah, this is a 1-lander. I don't think I'm keeping that. I would need to be very lucky here. I'm gonna mulligan 6, and this is a better hand than the previous one, and opponent also mulligan, so it's even in that sense. I at least can play the scout on turn 3 and then this on turn 4, so I have a good enough start here. Hopefully they don't have a explosive start. That's that. Okay, a little bit in the wrong order of draws, but it's okay. Treasure map, they can start scrying right away. I will be doing this right away and then probably just play the creature maybe. The Nautilus is not greatest, but it's good enough. So let's see. I know what I'm going to draw. So that means that next turn it will be 5 mana. So I can just play the well on the next turn. Also this thing mills 2 first before drawing, so that means that I would mill the Nautilus, so if I wanted to draw it. That would have been foolish. Anyway, now I can do both a 3 mana spell and a 2 mana spell on the next turn and get some fresh cards. Yeah, the treasure map is... I mean, if the opponent doesn't have a very fast start, the treasure map is very cheap way to get good amount of advantage. Okay, they can bounce that. They get a map token because it was tapped, but I get the ETB again. It's fine. This trade is fine because they need to have 4 mana to discover, so if they block, I don't mind. And I get the free scry here. And I can play my creatures, I don't need to play the well here. That's going to be good enough, I would say. Okay, they did not want to block there. So let's go with this and with the Nautilus. That's gonna flip now. They have now 3 treasures here as well, which they want to save for drawing cards, but they can also take the mana from them if that's what they have to do. There's the Glyph, because of course there it is. Well, I can at least, take the 5 for now, but this Glyph is just in the previous draft where I had a first pick between Glyph and then there was the rare, which was the black-red rare that destroys target creature with 2 mana. I said that if it was just a mono black, maybe I took the removal, but that would have been wrong. So I think Glyph is going to be the first pick in any pack where there isn't like a extremely strong bomb mythic. I'm expecting that they have the -2, -0, they get some value, but it doesn't really matter too much. I guess I could do this thing first, because I plan to do both these on this turn. Okay, let's see if the Waterwind Scout is gonna become a bigger creature. Charter Course is nice. Oh, but... Okay, change of plan. I'm not gonna do this because I would have to mill this. I should have played this before using the map token, but I was a fool. Scry is also not now needed, but I'm still gonna go here and Scry on top. If they have the -2, -0, then they do. So now I will of course pump the Nautilus. Yep, they have it. Okay, they did not. That was a good trade. They don't have the 4 mana. They wouldn't want to. I was supposed to pump this for 3 additional damage, but I did not do that. I guess okay, it's not the end of the world, because I guess I can trade with this thing now. I mean, they might have a trick to counter that, but... Yeah, I was so expecting the -2, -0 effect there. Okay, this can kill my... No, that can... Okay, annoying. So yeah, I was supposed to +3 there. But... No, I can now block and... No, I'm taking the 5 here. Taking the 5. The Dismantler is quite annoying though. Maybe I was supposed to... Well, whatever. Too late now. Yeah, so the Glyph, that wins the game here. If I lose, I mean, I might still win. But I'm gonna be in trouble. I got my own wrestler and of course the Glyphbridge, but it doesn't matter even. I need to make that Glyph of theirs to die. So I'm gonna do this now. I have the option to either use the Vanguard or the Clockwork Wrestler now. Mill 2 and... Yeah, this says my artifacts enter tapped. Yeah, that's something to keep in mind. This won't be able to block. Of course the -2, -0 will work. Yeah, land would have been nice. I don't think I had a land drop. Then I would have had both this and this up. But now let's see what they do. They have a lethal attack. Draw a card. So they go for that plan. I guess they now have the wrestler of their own. Yeah, no point playing these pre-combats because it will enter tapped. Sadly. Mischievous pop on what exactly? They save their guy. Okay, they can save it. And then I guess I have to... well, do I want to go to 3? Guess I have to really do that. Yeah, it's so annoying that the rat is actually gonna... They're gonna have the discover left. Okay, well... Well. Again, I drew my rat, but it's not gonna be enough necessarily here. They're gonna block with the pop regardless. But I might as well attack with the vanguard here. Yeah. It doesn't really cost me anything. That's, I mean, they can do that too, which doesn't matter. So I will have a guide wing and a wrestler here. But let's see what they discover too. I don't have to, I mean, I can let them have this, but it would be a really bad idea. So they have this, I have the Nautilus. They can kill the Nautilus with that, by the way, but there's not much I can do about it. They get the Siren, yep, another flyer, which means I need to have my guide wing here. Just to block. And then they can use the dismantler to kill the Nautilus and attack for 1. They can also tap. Yeah, my brat is useless here. I don't die this turn, but they can lock down the guide wing. It's gonna be close. I do have the wrestler here. And if they want to use the dismantler with x equals 2, it's actually all their mana almost. Because it's gonna cost 5 for x equals 2. It's gonna be it's a double x and white activation. So it's not that of a trivial choice, but okay, they have a Council of Echoes instead. Sure, that is it is fine. Well, I guess I can eat the Siren now for free. Sadly, this will still enter tapped, so I don't get to block the dismantler. I have to take the damage from the dismantler, but at least I get to eat this guy for free. Okay. Well, now I need to make my 5-3. There's no way. And I just block. I have to block the. Well, it depends on though. This a lot of this is useful ideas. I have an artifact here, yes I do. Because this is gonna cost 5, then I will have a crewmate. A possibility. Landmark is only scry this thing a possibility. I guess it's gonna be the Nautilus for now, and then which is gonna enter tap because well, I can take the one, fine. Also, they have the pirates, but if they cast the pirates, they can't attack. That's the crazy good part about this thing. That is the really good part about this thing. They can't. I mean, maybe they make a mistake because I have made that one. I have made that mistake. It enters tapped. Okay. Well, I can still jump block the Council of Echoes. Now, what the mistake they can now actually make is that they will try to tap down the guide wing, and then they can't actually attack. I hope they do cast the spell now. Yeah, they read the card. They are not as bad as I am. But this is a fine situation to be in. If they want to make me jump block with the guide wing, then they won't be casting a spell. So unless it would be fine for them if they have an instant. But they now forego the ability to cast a spell. So I have actually lethal attack now. So I assume they have an instant speed effect. Let's make this thing. Okay. Let's not make this thing any bigger. I mean, my Wonderglyph is winning the game now. They have to have a spell on my turn. They have to have an instant speed effect on this thing, which I suppose they have. I need to find something with the crewmate to deal with the Council of Echoes. Okay, so I'm assuming they had like flyer, which they thought they're gonna be able to play post combat, but of course not because of this ability. They attacked, so they can't cast any spells this turn. So they didn't have anything at the instant speed. So this attack was a completely, they shouldn't have attacked. So I suppose what they were supposed to do is just play this and lock down this for one turn. They couldn't attack, but this would be a blocker. I don't know, I won, and that's all I care about right now. Okay, another one-lander, which I am going to mulligan. Yep, I'm on the draw here. Come on. Well, I have the Scry 2 here and a 1-drop. And I have something to play with one additional land, so I'm gonna do that. And it's gonna be a difficult decision. I think it's gonna be the pop. I would like to have it. I also want to have the Pirate Hat to go with the Guide Wing, perhaps. But I could see maybe this being a little bit too clumsy. I don't even have a pirate, so it would be 2 to play, 2 to equip. Alright, let's get rid of that. Maybe the pop can do something useful. Alright, so I would much rather hit my land drop. So I'm gonna just scry 2 here immediately to have a land on the next turn. That's not a land on the next turn. Necessarily. Well, that's a pretty harsh start to the final. Okay, I did get that at least. I mean, to the final match, if I have to mulligan a one-lander into a one-lander, so that the second one-lander doesn't get to hit the land drops despite scrying for 2. But, if I draw now an island, things will be fine. And I think I'll be blocking if they attack. Because this will be an artifact in my graveyard. I can make it into a 1/4 now. They have a Waterwind Scout. Come on, island. Nope. They didn't even rummage, so that means they have a good hand. Yep. Well, there's always the possibility to maybe draw my Wrath effect and 5 lands and maybe reset the board and then win, even if I get to a pretty bad spot here right now if I don't get my lands. Spy class Siren, that's a nice one. Alright, land please. Thank you. So, I think I'm going to just craft this immediately. It's gonna be a good blocker on the stuff there. And now if this thing, gets blocked, I will be able to make this guy explore. Okay, they had an upgrade because why not? But it's actually surprising they didn't block because I think they want to block so that I don't have anything to explore. Although now I understand why. They have like a dream curve. I am struggling with mulliganing and not drawing the stuff. Yeah, I also based on the cards I have seen, this seems like an incredibly good deck. So I might need to get my best draws to beat this opponent. I don't expect to have a good chance to win this game now, given how this has started now. I have a few turns maybe here, but that's at most. Okay, another great card in there, and I still don't have my island. Yep, okay. I mean, I want to have this kind of deck too. They have a... This is all amazing stuff. But I saw two... Look at this. I mean, you didn't see them. Okay, we see it here. Geological Appraiser number 2. Geological Appraiser number 3. The Belligerent. The opponent's deck is just nuts. There's no way for me to beat that kind of a deck unless they, like completely have like a mulligan to 5 non-game stuff, which I don't really hope for my opponents to have. This deck they have should go 3-0, assuming they are at 2-0 now. The matchmaker should pair similar results, but it doesn't do that always if there's no suitable match quickly enough. But this deck seems like a deck that is 2-0 now. So I think what I'm doing is, because only chance for me now is to get the rat effect and lands for that. So I'm actually going to do this, and now I have two options. I can either save this guy, or I can just let it happen so that I get the explore here. Because I'm gonna play this regardless. The question is, do I need to explore immediately? I think I'm gonna save it still. Take 2, maybe have a couple of turns. I need the lands now. I need to just, basically, if I get to have a demonic tutor every draw step, there's a chance I can win this game. But it's still very difficult because they have the pirate hat here. They can make their hands a lot better. Anyway, there's the guide wing now. So I'm going to play this and the guide wing. I need to play the ever-flowing well to dig into my potential rat effect. This will be difficult, but this might be doable still. Yeah, with the 2 next draws I'm gonna have 5th land and then the rat effect. If that's gonna realize, then there's a chance. I'm sure they don't need a white splash in this deck, making it too risky for them to. I mean, the card quality for these blue and red colors is good enough. I would say that splashing seems just an unnecessary risk here. Okay, so do this and then trade with this, or do what? Okay, I miss out on the Explorer, but what can I do? I mean, it's my only chance to actually explore into a land and then immediately draw the rat, because they have the Strider here. Because if I miss out on this Explorer, I can only draw either the land or the rat, assuming I have those as my next 2 draws. I would take now If I double block this and trade with this, I take 5 now, going down to 7, and then I probably will have difficulties surviving at another turn. Yeah, I actually think I need to do it like this. I'm jumping there. I'm gonna explore on the Waterwind Scout. That needs to be a land, and then I need to get the rat. That's a land. Okay. That's not the rat. Not quite that lucky. So I can now play blockers, of course. So this has trample. This can be a big trampler. But they need to tap 2 untapped artifacts. Yeah, they can tap the Pirate Hat and the Treasure. That's already 5/5 trampler. I was hoping to get the land. I mean the card draw spell. But I think I need to have 2. I need to have 2 creatures instead. And then I just have to... Okay, I'm gonna also be able to explore here. Who's gonna do it? Maybe... I need to have a lot of trample absorbing here, so maybe the sentry can explore. Okay, that's not good enough. I need the rat. So I might have one more turn. Depends on if they can play... how many times they can actually activate this effect. I have 4 toughness absorbing a bunch of trample, but I have to take one of the flyers through. Okay, they're splashing for this. It's a strong card to splash for, but maybe my way to win here is that they have a bad mana because of the splashed color, and then I can play stuff quicker than they or something. This deck, I mean, they actually have 3 of these. We saw when they cast this one, the first one, they sowed 2 more. I mean, they might have even more than 3, but they have at least 3. And that is insane. Okay, that's 4/2. Because they can target, you know, other things too, but it doesn't give trample. It only gives the +2/+0, but it has trample itself. So with this set, I should do like here. I take 3. Okay. Now, rat or bust. That's the only way. That's not it. All of these will be lethal attackers. I'm not gonna show them any more cards. I can kill this, but it of course won't help because these other 2 ones are lethal. They can go for the Discover 3. Yep. Let's see if I can try to win on the play. I will play out of air here. I think both of them, because I need to counter these geological appraisers, I think. It's gonna be awkward having mana up, but I need to get lucky in this matchup anyway. I also don't mind countering this, and these are expensive cards, so I might have the opportunity to do that. But because of they are both double blue spells, I need to switch my mana around a little bit, and maybe consider did they have a burn-based removal. I mean, they have an upgrade, but they also can just not burn my artifacts. I need to cut 2 cards already, so I don't think I have a really... the landmark goes away. I don't have that many opportunities to, you know, to add even more sideboard cards into the deck. So Pirate Hat, Nautilus. Which of these make most sense? I don't think I even like the Nautilus that much in this matchup. They have those 3 2s. Yeah, okay, I'm cutting the Nautilus. It's also a good target for an upgrade. Okay, that's it. Alright, that's a nice hand. So now I'm at least losing so that I get to curve out pretty well here, I would say. I mean, if I lose. Of course I can win here too. Yeah, I could actually have 1, 2, 3, 4 start so that 3 of those 4 creatures are flyers, and they have a slow start with Sahelis Lattice in here. Okay, I have a guaranteed 1, 2, 3, 4 start here, and the opponent hasn't had any creatures yet. I don't need these planes. No, I will have some maps to explore into the second place because planes, because I have the rat effect is a double white card, but it's also not the kind of board state where I want to play a rat effect. Okay, out of air is nice, and the next turn they could have a geological appraiser. So I'm actually going to leave mana up for a counter spell so that I'm gonna make this thing into a potential 3/3. Yeah, that's a good one to draw. Although I'm kind of miss out on a scry, but it's fine. Now I can attack into that and they might just block. If they don't, I'm happy. So now I'm gonna, because I saw 3 appraisers, I'm gonna have to have mana up for this. Yeah. Unlike with Cascade, and I get the 4 here, but so what? Unlike with Cascade, you actually don't get the discover if it gets countered because it's not a cast trigger. So now they are going to block the Sunscribe, which is fine. I'll just now I do have another option. I can play my Gem Guard and then tap this and this, scry and draw, put a counter. But I'd rather play the Guard, and I can scry by attacking. I don't need it. I'm not casting my Wrath even if I draw it, so I don't need double white here. I don't know what they're gonna have, maybe, but they are losing in the air pretty. I mean, a geological appraiser needs to be a lucky hit now if they have that. No, they didn't know about the guard. Or what? Did I show this with an explorer at some point? I don't actually recall. No, I don't think I did. So they didn't know that there's gonna be this. Okay, the torch can deal with the guard, but I mean, if this attacks, I have a 3/3 here. I'm not sure. I take the damage, of course. Not gonna jump here. With 3 mana, what are they gonna have here that's gonna help them survive? They are not gonna have anything. So with this ideal dream start I have here, and them actually not having a board impacting play on turn 2, that's the way to win here. Alright, so let's be careful. I do want to make. I mean, if they have the only thing they can have here is the 1/2 that gives -2/-0. That's gonna give them an additional turn here. So I don't think it's gonna change much. I could play the companion and explore right away on the Guidewing. That's what I could do, and that's actually what I'm gonna do here. Yeah, it seems like they have that thing. I think exploring on the Guidewing makes the most sense here. I know I could explore on the 1/1/2, but they can't block the. I want to create the lethal attack in the air if I can. Of course, I can hit a land here, but okay, I didn't. So now they have to use the -2/-0 on one of these flyers, which means that okay, they don't want to even, because they would have to jump block with the 1/2 actually. It doesn't matter. They conceded. Okay, I beat them once, but now I will be on the draw. Anything here is gonna matter. I'm still playing both of these counter spells because I feel like I need to. Is the acrobatic leap gonna do anything? I have 15 creatures. I don't want to really cut any more creatures in here. I could see cutting the reminiscence thing, but it's also one way to dig into my rat effect, which I think I might need here. So I'm gonna use it still. And it would be a little bit of a miracle to win this game, but of course they might mulligan to 5, but they mulligan to 6 and I have this hand which is not great, but it's good enough because of this thing. And let's see if they actually mulligan to 5. No. And I have a good draw here. Okay. But triple geological appraiser, it is horrible. To just wait for them to start casting those. And they have this pretty nice one in there, but I guess I'll just have to... Well, I take 4 damage from this regardless. Because either I play this on their turn and I take 4 damage, or I do this on my turn and then, you know, I take 4 damage from the attack. The other option is now to just play the pirate hat. And next turn I can equip and use the saw blades. I guess... Well, it doesn't really matter now, does it? Well, I still do it like this. It's possible they don't attack, but it's very unlikely. They want to deal 4 here. And there is the appraiser. Okay, what is the... I mean, the first of many. Okay, I saw one appraiser. Appraiser hitting a Waterwind scout. Oh, okay. This is just unfair. I need my rat. I need my rat. That's actually just unfair. Oh boy. Well, let's first equip on the Guidewing. And I could get a scry with this thing, but then it's a little annoying that they might block with the appraiser, and then if they block with the scout, I lose out on the explore instead. But then they have no board. Then they would have no board. Okay. So I'm going to attack. I'm going to attack with, with both. Of course, I was always going to attack with the Guidewing. Scry this. No, I want to loot into a better thing. No, steal an island. Well, I guess the looting is good now. Okay, so I get to explore with the Sunscribe. Another land. Wow, that's a lot of lands. But now on my turn I will use this, of course, so I don't take the 4 damage. Now the question is, are they going to have another appraiser? Not. But it's not great to see that one. They're gonna hit for 5 now. They of course got the land too if they ever draw the white card. Rat effect. I need rat. I can scry 3. That's what I'm gonna have to do. So let's scry 3. This can find me the rat, so I'm gonna leave that on top. But also the mischievous pup can return the spring-leaded saw blades, which can kill the strider. So actually, that plains goes on bottom. Next turn, use the pup and the saw blade. Turn after that, the crewmate. Sounds like a plan I can try to make work. And I don't need no scrying. This will be blocking in case they deal with the archaeologist here. Okay, second appraiser, and the first one, you know, showed... Oh, come on, needle. I mean, the first appraiser already made one of the appraisers go to the bottom of the deck, but they still hit a second one now. And of course this got into the needle here, which is just an incredibly good card. Okay, I don't understand. Look at what they're gonna draw here. And they have the planes, of course. Yeah, they should just... No, this got the counter. I kind of forgot that. Yeah, okay. Whatever. It's over. I don't care when they have this 4/4 coming up. It's just... What a game. They just hit the absolute nuts there. They had an incredible deck, but I felt like I had something going on if they just didn't have the second Appraiser and then shown the Kabarokti Sunbone on the top of the deck. And they got the Lodestone Needle, you know, from the second Appraiser, which allowed them to explore, you know, tap down my 4/4 and explore with the map token. I mean, not with the map token, but with the back half of that card, so that the 3/2 that I was able to first block with my 2/2 turned into a 4/3, so I can't even block that. Alright, well, I think this deck was nice, and I'm happy I won the blue-white matches, especially the match 2 was really difficult. I needed to have this thing in each of the 3 games, and I lost one of them despite having this, but at least won the 2 other ones. And the final match was just especially the game 3 was like frustrating because I had a good plan going on, but they just, yeah, the Kabarokti Sunbone on top of their deck was like the final straw. They were gonna draw this and they had the mana to cast it, and I wasn't. I guess I could have continued maybe, but even then I was so down at so low life total that I just, you know, tilted away and conceded. Anyway, 2-1 is an acceptable result, and that was some bad, not bad, but tough matches for sure, and it could have been 1-2 as well, so I'm happy about the second win at least. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next event. Bye bye.